Mr. Marvel. It's good to have you in the studio this morning.
Good morning, leader of the house, and good morning, fellow parliamentarians. We are in here to discuss.
Okay. I mean, it's been some time. I've not seen you one-on-one.
You're looking for trouble.
Are you serious? How was life pan out with you?
I went for sabbatical. And
Wow,
I'm back.
wow. We only hear you on the phone. It's okay. That's beautiful. So great to have you right here once
Thank you
again.
very much.
Okay, parliamentarians, you know that you are a very important part of this process. And definitely, we will mention the phone line to you that you can join the conversation on 0806 804 5443. And in an update this morning is just something that we definitely need to look into, having to do with the 2027 polls. This one says APC has a lot to tell Nigerians about its achievement. This is Akpabio saying this to Nigerians. Well, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has said the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has enough achievement to present to Nigerians as the party prepares for the 2027 general election. Akpabio said the administration of President Bola Tinubu had recorded significant achievement in the last few years, particularly in the areas of the economy, agriculture, security, education, and fiscal policy. He stated this on Monday in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, while receiving members of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions. Now, this also having to do with the Tertiary Board, and we are talking about TET Fund and Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, led by its chairman, Senate Dandutse Mohammed, and at his residence, I beg your pardon. Now, according to the statement right here, now, I do not know if time will permit me, all right, but come on, we have a lot to look into today because the questions would definitely be carved out exactly because of what the Senate President said here. Now, according to a statement issued by his special assistant on media, talking about Jackson Udom, Akpabio said the Tinubu-led administration inherited an economy in difficult circumstances, but had introduced reforms that had improved the situation. Well, this is where we're going to stop right here and then to look at how this pans out. Now, Mr. Marvel, I'm going to come straight on you this morning. I'm having calls tripping in so far, but I know that we will have a time to, take calls, all right, talking about the parliamentarians this morning. Now, the Senate President said that the president, talking about President Bola Tinubu, had recorded significant achievement in last 3 years, particularly in the areas of economy, agriculture, security, education, and of course fiscal policy. Now, let's look at it this way. Since President Bola Tinubu assumed office beginning from 2023, I mean, these areas having to do with economy, agriculture, security, education, what is new from what he came to meet?
You see, campaign has started, and of course, we expect a lot of discussions and conversations around the achievements of this present government, and we also expect to hear reasons why others think that they can do better or they can take us to a higher ground. So this discussion is good that it's happening in this way, and of course, if you ask what this current government has achieved, we should always appreciate where we are coming from as a nation. There is no need to deny the fact that the government has really moved the nation forward in terms of economy, but we may not be able to say the same thing when it comes to security. So if it is listed that, of course, agriculture, maybe the process has started, but we want to see how some of these achievements can trickle down to better the purchasing power of Nigerians in many ways, but we can't certainly deny the fact that we have made a very good move when it comes to the economy of the nation.
Okay. All right. Now, Akpabio also said that APC's, achievement, or APC has achieved so much, and this is going to be a situation where he has to present to Nigerians as a party, as the party reopens membership registration coming August 31st. Now the question is, I do not know if you understand that, or I should rephrase it.
You're talking about the party membership registration?
Let me rephrase what I said. Akpabio says APC's achievement, or APC has achieved so much, and then APC is to present to Nigerians as a party to reopen membership registration coming 31st of August. And now the question is, why on the campaign grounds the people are not new to the strengths and weaknesses of the late administration? Or is there something new that Nigerians are yet to know that they want to tell us?
Of course, like I emphasized, the campaign has started. They owe Nigerians a duty to tell us about the achievements of this administration. And of course, that's what they will be said to do. When you even look at the comments about the membership of APC, we may just be looking at it in terms of the in the area of their own internal build-up to 2027 in terms of verifying, validating the membership of the party. But that goes pari passu with their need to explain to Nigerians what achievements that the government has recorded so far.
Okay. Now, talking about achievement, all right, can you pinpoint just 3 largely achieved projects of the late administration of President Bola Tinubu in the space of 3 years?
Where do I even start from? Let me start from the economy. In fact, that's where they have recorded their largest achievement.
Okay, please hold your thoughts, sir. We have a call right here. Let's try to, pay attention to this call. I come back to you. Hello, good morning, parliamentarian. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hello. Hello.
We can hear you, sir. What's your name and location, please?
Hello.
We can hear you, sir. We don't know what's going on right there. Please go ahead with your submission.
Okay, so you see, today we are having a foreign reserve of over $50 billion.
Okay.
That's a great achievement. In fact, for a very long time, we have not neared that figure when it comes to foreign reserve.
Okay.
Then you also would look at the tax reforms, the various reforms of this government, especially the tax reforms that has brought so much benefits to the ordinary Nigerian. Economics can be very complex, and sometimes when we are listing what the achievements are, especially when we are talking about achievements at the macro level, it may not be something a lot of people may be able to relate with. But without building this macro level, which is a strong foundation for any economic development, you cannot really get it right at the micro level. So at the macro level, the government has done so much in terms of stabilizing the economy. When you know where the economy was coming from, today it's been stabilized. You see, when they talk about the payment of salaries, we see so many states that were not able to pay salaries in the past. But today you have a lot of, all the states in Nigeria can boast that every month they are able to pay civil servants salaries due to the policy of removal of fuel subsidy that has put so much money in the pockets of the subnationals to be able to carry out their responsibility in terms of payment of salary. When we also think of infrastructural development, even though those things are still in process, money is still available for government to utilize to achieve those things. You think of the effort of government bringing down inflation from where we were in 2024 to where we are today. We can see the progress that government is recording. So many things that we can talk about their progress, but I would not forget to also mention that they still need a lot of work to do when it comes to the insecurity in Nigeria.
Okay. And now, let me also ask this question. Now, many Nigerians say some people will just re-register. Now, the question is, what structural change will APC make during this August 31st registration to ensure new members actually have a voice and it's not just old politicians?
But that's deep, because if you are discussing that, we are talking about the internal democracy of political parties. So, and that has to do with our culture. That has to do with the way politics has been done since time immemorial in Nigeria. So when we talk about those changes, it's not just about APC. We're looking at political parties generally and the challenges political parties face and how they want to bring about this change. You will think about it in terms of how they have structured themselves to become a party that is controlled by a few. You see the predominance of godfathers and how money politics is done in Nigeria. Those are the things that is influencing the internal democracy of political parties. Those are the things that we need to see how we could encourage participation of citizens in politics, especially the youths. Because when the numbers are much in the political parties, then you can bring the change to those political parties. So it's not just about the leadership of those political parties. Citizens of Nigeria should participate.
All right, before we move over to our next update, let me ask you this final question. You just maybe give about 3 lines on the surface because of time. Now, APC is mobilizing early, all right, from August 31st. Now, is the opposition party sleeping? Most Nigerians in the club mind are asking, what should PDP, Labour Party, and other parties, be doing right now to match this APC's early structure?
You say they are sleeping. I confirm. I can tell you, because you see, opposition is very weak so far in Nigeria. Opposition is not capitalizing on the advantage they should get to position themselves to make this 2027 election very competitive. We are seeing an opposition party that many of the opposition parties, if not all of them, seem not to be well organized. They go late in terms of even this membership registration. They had to extend deadline for most of these opposition parties. So they don't seem to be very ready for the 2027 general elections.
Well, that's your submission there. Maybe almost towing the same line with some Nigerians, even though, some people from the Labour Party, will come out to say, hey, we do not want to make noise. We are just so ready and we are putting so much, intact. And by the time that is necessary, the world will hear about us. That we heard yesterday, though. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the People's Parliament. I don't know what's going on here. We lost the second call right there. Okay, moving on right now. Now, other update here says Atiku vows to boycott presidential debate unless Tinubu participate. What is your general assessment on this one?
What's the point of an opposition party going for a debate without the incumbent? In fact, Atiku is very, very correct to say there's no need for him to go for that any debate at all if the ruling party is not present. So if the president is not there, the vice president should be there, or any representative of the political party. It's a competition. So if it is a debate, you are debating with someone. So there's no need for any opposition party to attend a debate. Look at what happened in Port Harcourt the other day. It didn't just add up.
I understand. Now we have another update right here. Even when I'm still coming back to ask you a question having to do with Atiku vowing to boycott presidential debate unless they will participate, as they also pay attention to parliamentarians who are trying to call in despite the network interference right here. Now, this third update rather says Abdul Salami questioned Atiku's Tinubu's presidential bid, calls for younger leadership. Well, I don't know. You heard about this. What is your submission?
It's unfortunate that we are getting too sentimental in the politics of Nigeria.
Why do you say so?
There's no need for us to be bringing gender, age, and we should, when we talk about politics being issue-based, we should be talking about performance of government. We should be talking about the achievements of government. It's not for us to start discussing ethnicity, religion, age, gender. Those things are emotional issues that do not really count in development of a country.
But then some Nigerians are saying that, the age of a president is also having a way to hinder him from doing what he's supposed to do. For instance, what happened during the past administration, talking about former president of blessed memory. Okay, help me there, right? Thank you so much, sir, Buhari. Okay, now President Buhari then was always visiting abroad for medical checkups. And definitely there could be issues to attend to right here in Nigeria. You know why I was always visiting there? Because a lot of Nigerians were saying that, his age was also affecting him. And then you see history of president in Nigeria having to do with people, that are even above 60. And then Nigerians are asking this morning, is it not possible for us to have, it's exactly what Abdul Salam is talking about. Is it not possible for us Nigerians to have a president who is very vibrant, having to do with his age, to be able to put up things in place?
If a president comes out and shows competency, shows skill, and shows us that he has the ideas to turn things around in Nigeria and give us better achievements, I don't see age as a factor.
Okay.
If we're talking about a healthy president, of course, we need someone that is healthy. Someone may be unhealthy at 30 or 40, and another person at 70 may be healthier. So if it is about health, of course, it can be a very good reason to say that if somebody has health issues, that the person should not be elected to become president of Nigeria.
Okay.
But when it comes to other emotional issues, age, gender, and all that, I don't subscribe to that.
Okay. All right. That is well penned down right there. Well, we would love parliamentarian to be a part of this conversation as I have a call right here. Hello, good morning, parliamentarian. Welcome to the People's Parliament. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on right here, but please do well to send in your calls, irrespective of the network hitches right here. Okay, we understand that in the early hours of today, we've had some, rainfall, despite the fact that we've been going, on and enjoying the August break. I don't know, we're having some rains in between though, but do well to send in your calls on 0806 804-5443. Take that again, 0806-804-5443. Hello, good morning, parliamentarian. Welcome to the program. Good morning, parliamentarian. Oh my goodness, this one is actually on. It's reading. I don't know. Good morning, parliamentarian.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Paul Akpan by name.
Okay, good to have you. Please, where are you calling us from?
Yes, sir. I have heard you are the guests in the studio talking about so far the achievements of the present government.
Oh, please, sir, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Karen local government.
Oh, beautiful. Go ahead, please.
I have a particular concern because he made a statement that right now local governments, state governments have gotten enough money at least to pay the salary of the civil servants.
Okay.
That is good. But do we also consider the spillover effects over the commoners in the rural areas? Do we also consider the people who are not civil servants, who have not gotten the money? And that this particular aspect of it has has caused a lot of damages as a result of that this first subsidy removal. And I think before the first subsidy removal come to stay, there would have been an arrangements or programs or activities that supposed to have been put in place so that the moment the policy kickstarts, if the spillover effects will not be too much on the commoners.
Okay.
Right now, the liter of fuel is about 1,500 or thereabout. Then what about the people in the rural areas? The policy is a good policy, but we did not prepare and put the necessary measures on ground so that the effect will not be too much, especially those in the rural areas. That is my submission. So whatsoever thing that could be done, I think the government should look into it and see how they can also take care of the commoners into their consideration, whatever policy they are carrying out.
Okay,
that is my submission.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Day. All right, we take another call right here. Good morning, parliamentarian. Welcome to the program. We lost that one day. Well, Mr. Marvel, definitely that question is directed to you. I don't know if you have answers for it.
Yes, certainly. You see, when I am speaking, I said economies can be very complex. So when you look at the factors responsible for where we are today, like my understanding of the concern raised or the comment made by the caller is that we are having so much inflation, things are difficult, and of course the purchasing power of people is not strong enough. And it's looking at it that if it was the government had prepared the nation very well before the removal of fuel subsidy, that things would not be as difficult as it is today. And of course, if the government, in my own assessment, had the time to put things in place, like a lot of programs that would have been run before now, then maybe things would not get to this point that it has gotten to. But we should also remember that federal government also, they have put in a lot of things like this NEL fund thing that has been put in place, and other programs of government that are meant to act as palliative for a system that is being subjected to such stress, that economic stress.
Okay.
Then we would have been able to manage better. But the way it is, where we are coming from, what we have achieved now is like coming from a pit and coming to upland. We have raised ourselves to this level.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's just stop there because of the time.
All right. Thank you so much, Dave. Mr. Marvel, on the update right here, we had him, spanning out. And of course, the way forward for Nigerians, doesn't many more will be coming your way in the course of time. You just have to stay locked right there with us. You have to take a cup of tea or perhaps coffee, because we have a lot to talk about and topical issues this morning. And of course, we are moving on to the desk of Today in History. And right after then, the People's Parliament continues.
Planet 101.1 FM. That's just who we are. Planet Radio 101.1. Your reliable companion for the latest in politics, sports, news, music, and events around the world. It's simple. We lead, they follow. Planet 101.1 FM. That's just who we are.
Hallelujah, Hosanna. Praise the Lord. Joy to the world. Our Lord has come. The earth receive her King. King Jesus must be celebrated every day because he isn't a seasonal king. He is King of kings and Lord of lords, the one and only landlord, Obonganyong Nyang Yisong, the only creator. It is written, if any man love not the Lord Jesus my Christ, let him be anathema, cursed. 1 Corinthians 16 verse 22. He is God forever. He controls all creation. Arise, let us adore him, worship him in spirit and in truth from now. Then life more abundant is yours forever. Happy new life. Shalom. Akemini Ubongo Basi Abraham, prophetic voice of redemption. To God be the glory.
Christian Youth in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth Development, Akwa Ibom State, has announced a Thanksgiving, prayer, and endorsement service theme, Advancing the Lord's Purpose Through Continuity, called from 2 Timothy 2 verse 2. It's all about Eno Akwa Ibom 2027, date Thursday 27th August 2026, time 10 a.m. prompt, venue Ibom Hall, IBB Avenue, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Akwa Ibom Christian Youth, don't just hear about it, be there. Announcer, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State on Christian Youth Matters.
Planet Radio 101.1, your reliable companion for the latest in politics, sports, news, music, and events around the world. It's rising like the sun and shining forth, sustaining life like never before. It will never set. The Planet Radio Station 101.1, Uyo, Nigeria. This is the place to be.
History, they say, is reckoning with our collective past. Let us revisit the events that alter the course of history, a chronicle of landmark declarations, pivotal moment and turning point in governance from independence proclamation to policy decisions that shaped our nation, Africa, and the global space. From the archives of time to the reality of today. Welcome to Today in History with Victoria Johnson on Planet Radio 101.1 FM, Uyo, an everyday 2-minute broadcast. Stay tuned.
A very good morning to you all day, and thank you so much for joining us on Today in History. We are moving straight into the details this morning. It may interest you to know that on this day in 1985, Major General Ibrahim Babangida toppled the military government of Major General Muhammadu Buhari in a bloodless palace coup, and it's ended Buhari's 20-month regime that started 1st of January 1984. And of course, Babangida then ruled for about 8 years and promised a return to democracy. And now the debating angle on this is that was it correction or just another military takeover? That is a question day. But also, it may also interest you to know that Babangida later created 2 more states in September 1987. Also, today in history, beginning from 2015, of course, this is just like coming back to the reality right now, is the World's Hausa Day celebration, talking about every 26th of August. This started, as I said, in 2015 by Nigerian journalist Abdul Bakir Aliyu Jare. And of course, this was to promote Hausa language, culture, traditions and arts across West Africa and the diaspora. Celebrations have been held in Ghana, Nigeria, and even Istanbul. Furthermore, on Today in History, in the year 1923, the body of Chief Samuel Mahariro was reburied. And of course, this was in Okahanja. Alongside his ancestors, he led Herero people during the German genocide of 1904. And of course, the ceremony became a symbol of anti-colonial resistance and nationalism. Herero people now gather every 26th of August to commemorate their chieftains. Furthermore, on this day in 1966, the People's Liberation Army of Namibia, PLAN, the armed wing of SWAPO, fought the first battle against South African occupying forces at Umogu Luwamboshe in northern Namibia. And this is considered the day Namibia's War of Independence began. It marked the shift from protest to armed struggle. And of course, today, Namibia celebrates 26 August as Heroes Day and also National Heroes Day. In 2026, it will be held at Heroes Acre outside Windhoek. The United Nations also declared 26 August Namibia's Day in 1973 to commemorate the struggle. And finally, on this day in the year 1846, English King Edward III defeated France. Longbow beat Knight, and of course, the political significance in this one is that powers shifted from aristocracy to common infantry and central monarchies, and of course, beginning from the Northern Nations Third Army. And that is all we have for you in our place right here on Today in History right now, bringing from Planet Radio 101.1 FM, Uyo. And this is thanking you so much for staying tuned. My name is Victoria Johnson. Come with us again by tomorrow with another edition, of course, as we take you down memory lane that has a way of linking to the very present. The People's Parliament continues to stay with us.
Locked in core values. Planet 101.1 FM, Uyo.
The world has moved from celebration of certificates to impact and ideas. At Danny Joy International Schools, we are determined to raise critical thinkers, world leaders, and change agents. We are equipped with leading-edge facilities with determination to nurture a total child in an environment where a child is free to grow and explore with our advanced chemistry, biology, physics, ICT hub, music hub, sporting facilities, and much more. Admission is ongoing for boarding secondary students. We are located along Waniba Road after Ibom Hotel and Golf Resort, Ifyayong, Uruan, Akwa Ibom State. For more inquiries, call 0810-364-9178 or 0808-824-8176. Danny Joy International Schools. Honesty in learning is our legacy.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, SEC 0209-462-1168, 0916-772-3240. Announcer, FSRCC.
My brother, I hear say Lafarge don't change name.
Yes, now. Lafarge Africa PLC don't transform. Come become HBM Nigeria PLC. The name don't change, but now still the same ogbonge cement and other building solutions company where Ella build Third Mainland Bridge, National Assembly Complex, First and Second Niger Bridge them, Cocoa House, National Theatre, plus plenty of construction for this week country since 1960.
HBM Nigeria, formerly Lafarge.
HBM Nigeria PLC, formerly Lafarge Africa PLC, Beyond Buildings.
Finally, I am here at Fruity Royal World. Oh goodness, look at that interior decor. It's just so beautiful. And I have to tell a friend, for your interior and exterior decorations, get them from Furity Royal World. This is a one-stop shopping complex for your home. They sell all your home and office furnishing equipment such as artificial flowers and vases, artificial grass carpets, vinyl flooring, wall panels, floated panels, chairs, also top quality accessories, kitchen utensils, and more. Furity Royal World is located at number 90 Opimo Street beside Kilimanjaro, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Call them on the phone number 0813-733-5834. Furity Royal World.
What a day to be back. Interesting talking point we're back to have in plenary is the People's Parliament, and my name is Blyden Okem. Well, if you're looking at what the situation is this morning around Akwa Ibom, you realize it seemed to be a wet morning across Uyo, Ibiakura, and everywhere you could think of, especially at the capital of Akwa Ibom. The time is 14 minutes past the hour of 9, and we'll be going to the plenary. Interesting talking point. I still have the House Leader with me for company, and Mr. Marvel also being a part of the mix this morning. It's been a while I had these fellow, Mr. Marvel, join us. Oh, not Mr. Obong. Forgive me, Obong Marvel. Obong Marvel, I say that.
Where title now matters so much these days. So you address me as Obong.
Yeah, absolutely. I was telling
in the African culture.
Yeah.
You know, you heard about Tony Lumelu's.
Absolutely.
Sir Tony Lumelu's
case. Of course.
Okay.
Mr. Lumelu.
Our culture matters.
Of course, I know.
It's like, I don't do that European thing here.
Yeah.
I don't know what the title would be for your House Leader in this one.
Oh my goodness.
What's stupid House Leader?
I don't think I need a
Madam Victoria Johnson. Good morning.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. You know, anytime you walk into the studio, it's always me smiling, okay, because I know that I have maybe a wing to fly.
Oh, okay.
Right? Shut up. Isn't it heavier today on the plenary?
Let's see how far you can fly, how high you can fly this morning.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting talking point. We'll try to do a bit just the next 3 minutes before we go to the motions as fast as possible. Well, quite a sad story has been in the world of music in that direction. Iconic fellow. When he talk about good music and that, especially in the, I think it was in the 70s. The peak of it was in the 70s. You're talking about a country music legend, Dolly Parton, passing away at the age of 80 after a brief battle with cancer. Well, I'm not too advanced in age anyway, so it wasn't my thing. But I remember growing up, my mother, my mother used to tell me about stories about wanting to, loving music, but never had a chance to be going to music proper.
Okay.
And definitely, similar to my mother-in-law, same story. And one personality was behind all of this. It had to be Dolly in that direction. What a miss in the world of music at the age of 80. When you talk about being iconic, simply iconic, Mr. Marvel.
Yeah, it's such a sad news I got this morning. I just woke up to that news this morning.
It happened yesterday.
And of course, I remember that the husband just passed away last year, and here is she going at a young age of 80.
Yeah, you can say that again.
No, truthfully, it's a young age.
It's
of
very,
course,
very
over
sad
Yes.
for me, because I can remember while growing up how most of her songs used to get us very emotional, especially Coat of Many Colors. Growing up from a very humble background, it really touched us so much having those songs. You see, the songs in those days were not like these Gen Z songs of today.
Telling you.
Songs writers used to take their time to do their thing, and we know that she used to come out so classical with her country, the classic country music, and sometimes the pop crossovers. She even used to sing gospel music, and
we
her voice, very unique voice.
We even had superstars like
when you are in love, you remember, I will always love you.
Okay, I
and
know.
that shaped her youth.
I know. Maybe that time that you have to perhaps write a letter to your girlfriend back then, writing on top detail.
Some of those song writing.
I know,
you back it up with that song.
I know people who were receiving lots of letters. House leader.
Victoria, have you ever received a love letter?
So many.
In this your age of text message and
no, not now. I'm talking about in secondary school back then, when someone is like, "Oh my God!"
I'm looking at you as being too young to have received those love letters.
I wouldn't think
we used to write, "You are the sugar in my tea."
Of course, back then.
I know she's one of those that used to keep a boy somewhere, suffering the boy somewhere.
Are you serious? I'm not that hard. Okay.
Which was your favorite? Favorite of our songs, yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you know I love you?
Oh.
Yeah, something like, do you know I love you?
I can feel love in the
air. We miss her so much.
Yeah,
of course, at the age
sad.
of 80, I mean, she's still very young, especially having to do with a Western country. And in America, they consider that age to just be a young age. You know that, I mean, in May, she actually came out cancelling a show that was supposed to take place.
Yeah.
And then I remember when she said that she's battling cancer of the stone, and then she will try as much as she can to make sure she gets back on her feet.
Right.
Mr. Speaker, Obong Marvel, I was wondering, like in Nigeria here, when once you approach like 70, you stay at home. And then someone that was getting to 80 was even saying she's coming back on stage.
The
it's
life
so beautiful to behold
expectancy
that.
in developed nations cannot be compared with what we are battling with. That's why when we talk about the healthcare system,
Does it have to do with the food we eat here?
Of course, exercise.
Can we change our meal? Because
For example, if you're a lot slim, people begin to think something is wrong with you.
Okay.
That you have to eat more.
that's about the culture.
Absolutely.
But the real poverty is there that will not allow you eat what you are supposed to
that's
eat.
true. That's the key
You
word
eat
there.
fufu 3 times in a day. You don't expect not to have inflammations inside of you.
I just bring a story towards that. Now we're navigating towards the parliament somewhat somehow. I saw a picture online, a guy who's married to, I think an Akwaibomite who's married to a white lady.
Okay.
And not a Akwaibomite, a Nigerian married to a white lady. And on that picture description, he was given lots of chicken plus little rice.
Okay.
And the bro said, come on, that's not how we do in Nigeria. In Nigeria,
we have a culture.
It has to be rice plus chicken.
Of course.
You're doing plus rice. Chicken plus rice. Well, basically what it is anyway. Yeah. The song that caught me so much was Jolene, Jolene. Jolene. I really loved it. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go to the plenary then.
We miss her so much,
Yeah, we can only hope the family can have the fortitude to bear this loss. Tributes everywhere from us from Planet Radio 101.1 FM, joining global musicians, politicians, and fans to contribute and to pour in. And I heard the White House, a flag, have been ordered to have staff to honor had extraordinary impact on American culture. Basically what it is, and that's what it means to be iconic. Not the kind of iconic we see in Nigeria these days, with the leadership of the country. Absolutely, with the leadership of the country. So quickly, up next would be plenary motions. So I want to quickly invite parliamentarians to join the conversation this morning. Number to call 0806-804-5443. Send in a WhatsApp message via 0902-223-1011. And similarly, go to Facebook, our Facebook page, Planet Radio 101.1 FM, the one with the blue tick. Ensure you comment via the comment section. We'll do well to read your comments in the course of the show. So quickly to the plenary motions. A first motion for today, PFN endorses Governor Eno as sole candidate for 2027 governorship election. The second motion for the day, President Tinubu condemns mass abduction in Niger State, orders immediate rescue operation. The third motion for the day, Amnesty International says over 10,000 were killed in gunmen attacks in Tinubu's first 2 years. Benue Plateau were worst hit in that direction. And final motion, a Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit says that terrorist financiers are using crowdfunding, women's bank accounts to move illicit funding. We can categorize the motion into just two as far as I'm concerned. One would be the insecurity part of the motion, which is the second, third, and fourth motion. And the first has to do with 2027 elections. Shall we? So let's begin with the first motion. I won't go into much details about it, but it has to do with the very fact that we're seeing certain endorsement, especially from the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State Chapter, and they've officially endorsed Governor Umoino Basiano as its sole preferred candidate for the 2027 Akwa Ibom State governorship election. Mr. Mahavla, I'll start with you. I wouldn't want to say what you make of it, but let me be your context. I was beginning to think that religious bodies are supposed to be neutral in this, just like the media is neutral. And because inside religious body we have so many other Christians in there, you can say born-again Christians, depending on where you're fellowshipping, and who are also typical Nigerians that are supporting diverse front. But when you have a religious body come out in full and say, look, we endorse the governor, what does it say? What does it ring the bell?
Preparing for 2027, this should be an outdated style of politics. We shouldn't see this going to 2027. We shouldn't be this backward to start talking about endorsement. You are very correct when you say religious bodies are supposed to be neutral. They are supposed to be neutral. What's your business in politics? Why do we talk about spirituality when it comes to politics, when we should be thinking about achievements, thinking about performance of government? This, I think, was ignited by the SSA to the governor on religious matters. And of course, as 2027 is approaching, what we will be doing, like I personally will be doing, whichever studio I sit, is to try to analyze the achievements in terms of bringing us to the issues. When we talk about politics-based issues, campaign should be based on issues. We should move away from these endorsement, these ways of trying to whip up sentiments when it comes to political issues. Governor Moino should have a list of items that he has achieved, that his assistants should be talking on, that the aides should be discussing on. They shouldn't be talking about one group endorsing the other one and the other group. It's so petty. In a church, for example, you could have members of various political parties being members of that church.
Yes.
And of course, if you're seeing yourself as a religious class, your religious class should be multifaceted in terms of ideologies, in terms of beliefs. After all, diversity, there is strength in diversity.
Absolutely.
So why would we still in this age be talking about PFN endorsing a particular person? It doesn't flow well. That's why I look at it as a very outdated form.
In yesteryears, you have a religious body do lots of stuff. For example, if you talk about schools in most of the states in Nigeria, you would see the Catholic Front where they're ones in charge of that. These days, we're not really seeing the religious body collectively doing this kind of stuff. well, individual churches are having their own schools to the benefit, and some of them you end up having maybe the church members not being able to attend these schools because they are too expensive. But it brings back the question about who should be vocal about the morals of a society, who should be vocal about what should be done in the society the right way. Are religious leaders not supposed to be in that forum, in that position? But we now have religious leaders always endorsing the governor. Many would say they go to maybe government house prayers and end up going with an envelope at the end of it. So what can you say?
You know, that is why we should try to move away from politics becoming very transactional, such that we have all the facets of our society becoming interested in the transaction of governance in a manner that you don't have anything to offer. You go with what you think you have. For example, we're talking about religious bodies now. There's nothing wrong with a religious leader airing his views about governance. There's nothing wrong about that, but you should do it as a personal, as an individual, not that your group or your church or your organization are the ones endorsing a particular candidate. We're in democracy, so everybody can participate in democracy, whether you are a religious leader or not. But restrict it to your person, not to say a whole group is endorsing a candidate. That is uncalled for. When you talk about the activities of religious leaders these days, and you talked about building of schools and making it highly commercial, against what we used to have in the past that really looked at the
we go to villages, and build schools,
in fact, build schools and
hospitals.
Some religious organizations used to have refugee camps. You know, I remember immediately after the war, churches like Salvation Army, they had a refugee camp in many places. You know, giving back to the society and participating in those things that really boost the
service to humanity,
socioeconomic fiber. Now, what we are having today is very different. We should have a situation where the ruling party, the government of the day, should have a way of making their aides, their lieutenants, to focus more on the issues of governance instead of, going on this path of endorsements.
Okay. I know House Leader is always a bit spiritual about this conversation. House Leader, where do you stand in this?
I get to be opposed to her.
House Leader, I said, come on, we have to consider spirituality.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Mr. Speaker and Obong Marvel.
Okay.
I'm not going to toe that line today, okay, because I know that the Nigerian Pentecostal Fellowship, all right, big Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, I beg your pardon, coming out to endorse Governor Moino for a second term is something that we expect them to be neutral in this case, just as our guest has, penned it down. Why? Because this is a Christian body. You should just pray in your closet or in the open that whosoever, especially having to do with the will of God, and I want to believe that they are actually representing God here, and then they should not toe one line. You see, when I'm going to say this the way it is, okay, when religious leaders are being fed solely by politicians, this is what you see. Now, because we see, even in past administration, you will see that even, I don't want to mention their names, like people that you regard, clergymen that are just on high profile in Akwa Ibom State, they will even be going to the government house personally to be praying for them. And this is the very reason they even look down on the downtrodden. I'm talking about pastors in today's world. If you do not have seed to present to them, they may not even pray for you. Prayers now is God. No, but let us keep it there.
I'm surprised I'm hearing this from Victoria.
Yes, but it's true.
The last time we had this conversation, she was telling us we should understand the importance of being spiritual. So what changed?
That is what I said, not on this one.
Okay.
Because you will see situations whereby even the poor are being relegated. Now, the who is who matters even in church. Meanwhile, it's not supposed to be so. I don't know a church in Nigeria that even when they expect the governor, and then the governor will sit in the congregation like every other normal member. No, they will always bring a special seats from the convoy, from the car, and keep at the front seat. Please, can we just mention what are we advertising them?
Jehovah's Witness. They will not give any high political office holder or any high businessman a special.
So you see situations, Obong Marvel and Mr. Speaker.
But that's slightly different because you just welcome your guest. If it's your guest, if your guest comes to your house,
fine. You can actually reference him in the congregation and say we have a special guest in the person of our son, the governor. He can stand from the middle.
Do you remember the story, the parable that Jesus gave? Let's go to the Bible a bit. And Jesus said, you ought to be humble. When they've not taken you to the high table, don't go there and sit. Lest a bigger person comes and they take them there and tell you to come down.
But
so there's high table right from time immemorial.
Let's also look at the person of Jesus Christ. Was he like that?
Right.
No, he wasn't. Then to summarize this whole thing, you see situations where, for instance, in Akwa Ibom State, governors will visit some churches and then they will say, okay, we give 15 million naira. In this church, we are giving the church projects 10. So tell me why the this people will not endorse him because they're being.
Let's say PFF.
Yes, tell me why they will not endorse him. So because on a normal that is not supposed to be. So I just see Christian bodies, it should just stay neutral and pray for the will of God. That is what it should be.
They should stay neutral and pray for the will of God. Here's the biggest part of being perplexed for me. I've never heard PFM come out to say, look, the governor or this policy isn't right before. As a body, I've never heard that. So the only thing you get to hear is to sugarcoat, to find the governor or to find a politician, and becomes maybe, I don't know if it's a harsh word to say, a politician's puppet for me. Because when I look at the list, I was going through the press release and I saw the stack of list of men and women of God, highly respected, being part of that endorsing the governor. Man. Well, let's quickly go to phone lines. Parliamentarians who want to react to this, and the course of it will go to the second and third and fourth motion. Good morning, parliamentarian. Well, we lost our call in there. Do well to send your calls. Intermittently, we're going to talk about, we're going to share our thoughts with you regarding the conversation. So while anticipating the calls to come intermittently, we'll be taking the calls. And let's go to a second motion. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered a swift, coordinated rescue mission following a major terrorist attack and mass abduction in Niger State. The directive, issued on August 25, 2026, commands the Armed Forces, Nigeria Police Force, and Department of State Services, DSS, to immediately track down the attackers and safely retrieve all captives. According to reports, a terrorist raided a mosque and vulnerable communities in Gidanzana, Benya Village, Bogu local government area, I hope have not mispronounced them anyway, and Kazoan Daji, leaving over 40 people dead and several others abducted. Well, the president is giving this directive through Bayo Analoga, his aide in that regard, saying, come on, we have to start a manhunt in this. So, Mr. Marvel, before I come with you, let's hear from this parliamentarian. Good morning, parliamentarian. Well, I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. Let's continue the conversation. Do well to call back. He's been trying to join a conversation this morning. So, Mr. Marvel, when you look at the direction of this, many have the argument, if the presidency was reacting this way, maybe we wouldn't have the situation we're having in the country. We can put side by side with the amnesty report that came out. The amnesty report said in the first 2 years of this president, over 10,000 people were killed. Quite a terrible situation for me, and a couple of states were the biggest victims in that regard. And many arguments would be, if you look at the response of a president in this case, if the president had responded in time past like this, we wouldn't find ourselves where we are now, where many people would be dead.
Well, I'm not impressed with the response of the president because we've heard this over and over.
Okay.
The president is always asking, commanding that security agencies should go after the kidnappers, rescue the victims and all that. We keep hearing this.
So it's just a Polish way of saying it?
It's just the normal thing the federal government. You see, one of the greatest weakness of this administration is insecurity. And of course, till recently we are still hearing about this kind of operation taking place in the country. So when we talk about rescue, how about making it not possible for this to happen at all?
Okay.
So the government still have a long way to go when it comes to this. I'm looking at a situation where we could improve as a country with all these foreign assistance that we are having, with the collaboration we are having with the United States of America and other countries of the world. I want to see a situation where Nigeria can move away from this. But there is one aspect of it I also want to point out.
All right.
This happened during a Juma service. That speaks to the question of us sometimes debating that we shouldn't make this a religious issue.
Yeah.
So if this happened during a Juma service and those people that actually were carted away was people of a certain religious group, it means it cuts across. So there is no Nigerian that is not really suffering the effect of this insecurity in the country. What we need to understand is that there is a reason this is going on as it is going on. We should be able to address those reasons. We should be able to hold the federal government highly accountable for these things that are happening. We should be able to hold the service chiefs accountable for whatever is happening. The other time when we talked about the case of Niger State, you remember that we were supposed to probe. When I say we, the country was supposed to probe. How come the military men that was guiding that school in Niger State left 30 minutes after there was an attack? How come? Who made the general that was killed? How come, it happened in that way? How come his phone communication was intercepted?
Yeah.
Those are issues that we would need transparency of investigation, transparency in the investigation.
There should be culprits.
Such that we are able to hold people responsible for this. So when this happens and we don't seem to hear the outcome of those investigations, it seems government is sweeping those things under the carpet and it keeps happening. The government, one question the APC government led by Tinubu would have to answer is how come you are not able to resolve this insecurity issues speedily in the country?
Okay, before I go to House Leader, still on you, Marvel, when you look at the numbers for me first 2 years, because if you look at the real numbers at the moment, it might get to maybe 20,000 there, 20,000 people dead, you never can tell. But according to Amnesty International Nigeria, at least 10,217 people were killed in violent attacks by gunmen and armed groups across several Nigerian states during the first 2 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. And then the breakdown indicates that these were states that were hard hit, including Benue, Plateau, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Niger State. The worst hit was Benue State, recording the highest day toll with 6,891 lives lost, and Plateau State followed with 2,630 deaths. So if you, in your first 2 years as a president, this is happening, if it were in other climes, you would resign.
No, you see, that's where we need to look at the situation critically. In Nigeria, we have had insecurity over the years. In fact, it spiked since 2009. And of course, that means that many governments have come and gone and still have this insecurity. In fact, the government that I hoped would resolve this insecurity speedily was the government of Buhari. But of course, this is where we are today.
They were complacent.
Of course, we would know that this is not just, there is so much to it that people have not come out to say that this is the situation. We've heard a lot of rhetorics about this insecurity situation in Nigeria. But we sometimes, when organizations like Amnesty International comes out with this figure, I personally may not be able to rely on these figures. But the truth is, when you look at insecurity in Nigeria, kidnapping is quite different from terrorism. And of course, this herders-farmers clash is also a different ballgame completely. If someone wants to come and resolve this, we should be able to appreciate the complexities that are involved in this. So when we talk about insecurity, you think about those people that are thinking that we should use force, mechanical means to ensure that we get rid of this. We should also look at our socioeconomic circumstances in Nigeria.
Agreed.
So those things contribute to this insecurity. So the government may be buying weapons and all that to fight it, but also we should not ignore the poverty level, the multidimensional poverty that is a contributory factor.
Even the poverty that you've talked about, it comes on who? It's still the government. There are factors by the government that
yes,
make
but
the
some of these things
poorer.
It needs a process to resolve, to sort it out. If you cannot, come out overnight and say you can resolve the problem of Nigeria overnight. All what we are doing is to ask government to please try and do better, not as if any magic can be performed because of these multifaceted factors that contribute to this insecurity in Nigeria.
Mr. Marvel, we cannot tell the government, please do better. The elections are coming. Look, if the government cannot solve the problem of Nigeria, they let go.
That is why the campaign should be issue-based in a manner that we have debates. The present government will come out and tell us what they are doing about this.
Are they ready to do that?
Then the opposition should also come and tell us how they are going to do it. We would listen, analyze it in this studio, and tell you this other opposition party, they have a point or they don't have a point. Okay. All will lead to us growing the country.
All right. A fantastic thought there. Good morning, parliamentarian.
Parliamentarian.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Imo from Ibionibo.
Okay, Imo, go ahead, please.
Please, the way our politicians are using some of people in this Nigeria is not good. Look at say that they will do some not putting more money and even federal government putting money. Our politicians using family are putting, they are not giving the poor people. Now, rich people, they are using this thing. I don't know how politicians now, 2027 on the way, more than they will start campaign. They will come to you, even a person like me, if I contest now, what am I telling people? What am I doing? So I will go second game. Look at it like issue, and if you're unable, if they ask that young man what he's doing in that of rape, he can't show him as a sample. A person like me, I can't send that kind of person into that place again because you are not performing well. Let our politicians, let our government use a person that that person can perform well. You know that he leads the people, he's not leading an animal. Okay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining the conversation this morning, Imo. I really appreciate your thoughts in there. Well, House Leader, part of the conversation around all of these, just like the Amnesty International and they've spoken about, well, I'll get back to you. Good morning, parliamentarian.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is really calling from Ibionibo.
Good to have you. Another Ibionibo. Go ahead.
I want to ask my federal house member what they did for people from Ibioni to Ibiono, better consequences. Ask him he never Sukun, that is, they never Sukun, what they did for entire Ibiono and Itu. Then another person, I want to challenge the senator represented to use in Ita district, and Honorable Enekan Basi, former speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. Tell Enekan Basi what a single person they did empowerment for the nine local communities you represented. Thank you very much.
All right. And thank you for general conversation. It seems something is really happening in Ibionibo this morning. And, well, let's see if a call comes.
Two questions are being raised. You see, when we talk about the representation of the people, we talk about the House of Rep. If you heard the caller talking about empowerment, you see, during these elections, we should focus more on the issues around politics. Whether the senator representing Uyo Senatorial District is giving out a motorcycle, car, and all that, that is seen as empowerment. We should also be able to assess him in terms of his contribution at the House of Assembly. His principal and core duty is to make law. His principal and core duties evolve around where he is chairman of the committee, relevant committees in the House, and his contributions at the House of Assembly.
But
so
as
when
long
we
as
talk about empowerment,
money,
we can't really base all our assessment on whether he's doing empowerment
I
not
agree.
doing empowerment.
But the other factor is if he's getting constituency money for projects, they should do something. Recently, now that we've talked about empowerment, House Leader, I don't know if you saw the picture, one of the big politicians in town taking pictures in terms of empowerment with a gas cylinder. It wasn't.
You see, Senator Bassey is doing a lot of projects. I know of 1 or 2 roads. I also know of electricity, that's solar based on some of this. So but it's up to his team to come and tell us as we are moving to 2027.
That sounds hilarious, though.
I saw it. I was shocked.
Okay.
Why do you take a picture with a gas cylinder? As empowerment.
I mean, is that enough? That's another question.
Is what enough?
Is that enough?
That's no empowerment.
But you didn't say who did that.
No, let's keep it at that.
Because of these things, we should be very careful what we get from the social media.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
What we get from the social media can be tinted with some
artificial intelligence.
with some fun. Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. I know artificial intelligence. Come on.
Okay.
Don't worry. I wouldn't give you what's not real. Don't worry. But let's reserve the name for certain reasons.
Okay.
So back to what we're talking about. We're looking at the political situation in the country and the difficulties that comes with, especially with Amnesty saying this. I'm of the opinion we're moving to 2027. If the president can solve this, in fact, it should be a core discussion in here. Just like we're talking about subsidy, since Atiku Abubakar mentioned that he'll bring back subsidy. Security should be a call. I want to listen to the APC crew. It seemed like all is well.
Okay, I will say that this mayhem in Niger State, as condemned by the late administration, is not just to condemn it. It's not just to order an immediate response, all right? And then I also want to say that this amnesty saying about 10,000 killed in the last 2 years, all right, is so scary.
In the first 2 years?
In the first 2 years of the president-led administration, it's just so scary. Because when you want to look at those figures, you're wondering, I mean, are we really safe in Nigeria? Now, I'm moving forward to also say that, I mean, there's been this, what is it called? There's been this report that, that people in Niger State were suspecting some, armed men coming in, but there was no reaction to it. So why is it that when the deed is already done and then the people in authority are now coming out to say, okay, we are going to do this, even when, the milk has already been spilled? It's not okay. And this is not a good way of leading. It's not a good way of leadership. I also want to say something about recently whereby security agencies of Nigeria, including intelligence group, the army men, the police and all of that, going forward to do a rescue in one of the states involved in this abduction. I can't really spot out the state right now, but then I saw the president really lauding them and saying that the Nigerian intelligence group, they are really doing so well, working in tandem with the army and all of that. Then they went into the forest, and then most of this abductors, talking about bandits and this men, they were running with their arms and leaving the forest and all of that. It is not just about that. They are running to one forest and they are going to another hideout right there because they were not even caught. Now the point of contention here is that all these forests, these are government owned lands. Now you talk about Sambisa Forest and even other related forests. These men are not operating from households. They are not operating inside kiosks. No, they are in bushes in Nigeria. Now, these are government-owned, lands. Why can't you make those lands bare? Now, each and every single of this, people being abducted, and then the rescue team are finally, delivered them out. Why don't you set that land ablaze? Why don't you try? No, yes, and make it bare. No, now, and make it bare.
Becoming very brutal.
No.
These days, house leader is very brutal.
You want them to deforest? This economic.
What I'm talking about here, in essence, is this: in totality, why can't the lands be bare? All right, you can set fire on it, and we're not talking about castigation here. No, you set fire on it and then make the land bare. We can use it for we can use it for agricultural products. We can use it for planting, and then make even generate revenue for Nigeria instead of making it a forest.
Will be angry with you now.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, instead of making it a forest, because these are their hideouts.
If we act like that, before you know, you start importing woods.
Yeah.
Fine. So
it
affects the economy.
Yeah.
Now the question is, another thing that we should do is all of this forest. We have our military men, all right, always, put on an assignment to go for, a banter between this bandits and the military. And then how many of our men have been military men, okay, in that regard have been deployed to go inside the forest, not even wanting to, wait until you have an information that bandits are operating in that forest.
They are recruiting for forest guards. So we hope.
And then why did we have to wait until now before this recruitment? Is it about because of the campaigns that are already on the ground?
That's why I talked about it being a process. You see, we have challenges that have been in the country for a very long time. Like when we talk about the number of policemen in service, we talk about the number of military people. And you hear the present government also talking about improving on these numbers. The improvement of these numbers will go a long way to resolve some of these challenges we're having in insecurity. But apart from that, of course, there are other measures government is currently taking. That's why I still say they should do better than what they are doing now.
All right. Well, it's still a good time for you to join a conversation. Parliamentarians, 0806-804-5443. 0806-804-5443. Well, Mr. Marvel, a part of the struggle is what we've had. What do they call him now? We're talking about terrorist financiers in Nigeria are being actively leveraging identity laundering, proxy. We're talking about proxy bank account and layered crowdfunding, the model to bypass automated security checks and fund extremist operation, according to reports we're having from the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. One angle to look at this conversation beyond the crowdfunding is that they're actually saying that the report says they're using women in terms of women's bank account. It could be their wives, it could be their sisters. It's becoming a lot difficult to notice and track, and they're doing crowdfunding, $50, $500 to fund and all of that. And it's been such a huge challenge in terms of fight against insecurity in the country. Yes, there's a place of complacency from the government, but this agency came out to say, look, we're talking about why it's difficult for some of the agencies to really track the funding and the smart ways that these people are using. Also, I hear the likes of POS businesses, and a big advice to everyone that ought to be careful who's sending money to you, who's using account for what. I had a story of a friend at a time. He had a call from I wouldn't call a friend per se, it's not a friend, someone that I know, an acquaintance that I know. So I had a call from another person in Abia State. Maybe they were classmates back then. And the person said, oh, there's money coming. I want to give me your account number, let me send money for you, because he was greedy. And they sent a huge amount of money for him. And they said, oh, take 150,000, send the other one to me. And he obliged. Guess what? The police had to pick him up at the end of it because it wasn't a genuine money.
That's knowledge for people to generally apply in the society.
Absolutely.
Being very careful. But you see, my concern is more on this Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit coming out to lament in the way they are lamenting. We are expecting that they should do their work without necessarily coming to tell us the challenges they are having.
Well, indirectly, maybe they're also trying to get people to be aware of.
They should be able to improve. Why would you want to get people to be aware on your intelligence work if you're finding that there's a challenge in terms of these crowdfunding issues? Approach it and look for a way to ensure that you are able to even arrest those people that are using crowdfunding to fund terrorism in Nigeria. Look at the accounts of the people that are using their women to do all these things. You don't need to come out to tell us. You don't need to come out to, there is a recent bill that is going on. I think it has passed second reading. If not, maybe it's on second reading. This foreign aids bill. And of course, a lot of people are coming out to criticize. You keep duplicating commissions and agencies of government when we have existing agencies to combat some of these challenges we are faced with in the country. So this Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, they are one of those units that should be able to cross-check what is going on in these foreign aids, such that you don't incapacitate the NGOs and other organizations that are benefiting one way or the other from these foreign aids. Instead of going to we keep proliferating government agencies and organizations when we have existing ones that seem not to be putting their acts together.
All right.
So I don't welcome this lamentation from Nigerian Financial Intelligence.
They should do that work.
They should do their work.
Absolutely. Well, quickly let's go to Facebook and take some comments from Facebook. Bro John says, it's a shameful situation that PFN could endorse a governor, yet they are aware of poverty and unemployment bedeviling Akwa Ibom people. All they want is collecting brown envelope as usual. Abasi Frekoda says, good morning, Mr. Speaker. The endorsement of our governor is what the PFN has done voluntarily. The real deal will come when the masses votes. Said, no problem, let them wait for us, we're going to vote. Sadly,
that's why I say this is an outdated style of...
but sadly, I don't know who they're going to vote for. It seems like Governor Umana is almost unopposed. One of these days we'll talk about it. Good morning, parliamentarian.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Ayara from Yabanatani Biono.
Good to have you.
Yes, sir. That endorsement, is it ordinary endorsement or endorsement with gratification? I want to know. Thank you very much.
If you ask me, I go ask.
Well, maybe we'll send a call across to PFN president in that direction. He'll let us know anyway.
I'll bring him to the studio.
You want to join? Okay. Back to Facebook. Namti Ita says, please let the authorities concerned do the needful at Nwaiba Road from Oran Street to Benodo Street, and please fill those potholes to save lives and properties to Mbok. Namti also says, let the PFN stop joining politics and stop endorsing anybody, rather advise our leaders to ease the suffering of the masses and do the needful. But it's a pity, cause it's the other way around. Rather than being a watchdog to the government and boldly telling them the gospel, the truth. Well, I think it's a good way to keep it for today's plenary. Fantastic thought we've had, and a big thank you to you, Mr. Marvel, for your coming around after a long while. Don't stay too long.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, House Leader.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to say that for the security of the innocent citizens, all right, having to do with the last motion, we must monitor also suspicious transactions, all right, and women and crowdfunding are being exploited.
All right,
this is just for national security.
Okay, basically about national security. But it's been an interesting conversation, a lightweighted conversation for me today. But we draw the curtain on today's edition of the People's Parliament. Thank you for being a part of it. My name is Bladder Kim, the House Speaker. Tomorrow is another day.
We are the new Planet Radio Station.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Revolving around you.
See you guys next week.
All right, sir.
My brother,
all right,
I hear say Lafarge don't change name.
Yes, now. Lafarge Africa PLC don't transform. Come become HBM Nigeria PLC. The name don't change, but now still the same Ogbonge Cement and other building solutions company. We help build Third Mainland Bridge, National Assembly Complex, First and Second Niger Bridge them, Cocoa House, National Theatre, plus plenty of construction for this we country since 1960.
HBM Nigeria, formerly Lafarge.
HBM Nigeria PLC, formerly Lafarge Africa PLC, Beyond Buildings.
Planet Radio 101.1, your reliable companion for the latest in politics, sports, news, music, and events around the world.
Ideas can be life-changing. Sometimes all you need to open the door is just one more good idea, and they usually show up when you least expect them. Planet Radio, an indigenous radio station, came alive when people least expected it. The first ever private indigenous radio station in the great state of Akwa Ibom. Planet Radio is poised to revolutionize radio broadcasting in the Aqua Cross region as an alternative platform of communication, propelling diversity in its wake. Planet Radio is set to nurture original, dynamic, and entertaining approaches to program making with audience satisfaction in mind. Planet Radio 101.1 FM, revolving
refresh my soul. Come with the fire, come with the water.
Come, Holy Spirit, come fill my heart, refresh my.
We are the new Planet Radio Station.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Revolving around you.